shooting into the bush.
We're ready.
Now this firing that they're doing here on land, the Confederate guns are very deliberate firing. They're firing at a slow-moving target, and they're a relatively short range, so they will be doing damage to the ship.
Oh, they're going to fire.
They have a ship in by.
There he is.
No, it's Phillip. Look at him.
No,
By the way, the captain of that schooner out there is General Grant. Because he's rich enough to own the schooner. Okay. Where did you come from? Okay, in this black time, does anyone have any more questions? You sure? Not you. Anybody else?
What do they use for wadding in the gun?
What do they do? What now?
For wadding after the.
Usually, there are wads. It's called a wad bag or a wad package that comes with the ammunition. When you bring up the ammunition, you bring the wadding out of the magazine as well. It's round cloth wadding, which looks like a big aspirin that you fit down the gun. And if you're using hot shot, you use 2 of those soaked in water, and you have 12 seconds before it burns through. So you got 12 seconds after you put the ball in the gun to get rid of it before it blows up the gun. Well, most of the fortresses that have been built in the 18th and early 19th centuries, by the time of the Civil War, had what they called shot furnaces. And they would put solid shot into the furnace and stoke the furnace until the shot became red hot. And then they would load it into the gun with these 2 soaked things and shoot it. If they hit something like this with a red hot ball, 24-pound ball, no amount of water is going to put it out. So that was very dangerous, both to the gun and also to the target. Okay, I got a chair back here. Yeah, sit down.
Oh yeah, I know. Look at
one of the youngest people. I don't know what the youngest was, but the youngest wounded person was a drummer boy. He was 13. He lost his arm, and
drummer boy.
He lost his arm. He came back in the army, so he never left. And he taught himself to drum with one arm. And he was called the Drummer Boy of Chickamauga. There's a book written about him. And I believe later on they made him a sergeant. I don't think the parents had anything to do with it. He just ran away from home. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of that. You know. Yeah, they just, they wanted to be part of it, and that was the way they could do it. You had people like this kid here. You bring him in, you teach him how to drum, okay? And then on the battlefield, if you have a message to run, it's much better to give him the message, because he can run faster than you can. Not only that, but he's a lot smaller. So it makes a smaller target, which is a kind of a bad way to think about kids, but, that's the way they did.
I heard a story about a
18 and over, they would they would draw 18 on the ground or something, have them stand on it.
One of the things was that if you were going to enlist in the Army, you had to be 18. So there were a lot of people who weren't 18 who wanted to be in the Army. So they would go off someplace and take a piece of paper and write 18 on it and put it in their shoe. And when of course the recruiting officer knew this, and he would say, "How old are you?" And the kid would say, "I'm over 18. Okay, you're in, bud." You know, knowing full well that he was standing on a piece of paper that said he was 18. So that was very often used. The other thing it was used, not very often, but every now and then you'd find somebody who owned a horse who was under 18. And if you could bring the horse in with you, then you would automatically go into the capital.
Better than the finger.
They do. They don't want those guns to be captured. In the Civil War, if you captured a flag or a gun, it was a mark of honor for those who captured it. So naturally, people don't want their gun to be captured. Okay, the commander's down. The next officer in line will take your place. Come on. Who's the next senior commander, John? Where's? Oh, that's okay, now you've got a first sergeant who's under command. Probably a good thing all the way around. Because NCOs usually knew what they were doing. Remember I told you about the federal landing parties. They'll be landing up and down the coast. It would appear that they have approached this gun site now. So the Confederates are defending their gun positions against infantry which have landed up and down the coast from this point.
Figures just like in real life. Very badly outnumbered, outgunned. And they got that.
Sergeant, as you reload, you'll see what I mean about how long it takes you to reload. You got to remember, you got Federals in the woods who are trying to approach, and this guy is working on getting one more bullet in his gun.
Hold on there, bro. Hands are right.
They're up there in the woods too.
One question that sometimes comes up in this deal is, are they really as close as they are now? Probably not. But if we were to extend them out to real range, you wouldn't be able to see nothing. Yeah.
Why do they put the powder for the cannon
What?
over there? Why do they put the powder for the cannon in a bag?
Get ready to carry it out of here, I guess.
No, to bring it to the cannon. He puts it in the bag.
Oh, that's a leather bag. So it's more protective of the gunpowder. Schooner coming in close for a close shot. Now the schooner will be using solid shot to try to knock out the gun.
Skirmish line! 5 feet!